So Taylor Gardner-Hickman has actually been phenomenal so far for Blackburn Rovers in that midfield vacancy made up by ex-skipper Lewis Travis. Is there a future where we have him back next season on a permanent? Well, we're going to take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we're going to take a look at, of course, the impact that Taylor Gardner-Hickman has made to this Blackburn Rovers squad. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, Championship football, whoa, football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right. Of course, massive hole left by Lewis Travis over the summer. Of course, it was a last gasp signing Taylor Gardner-Hickman coming in, and a lot of people turned their noses up at it when, of course, the announcement has been made. But he's been playing out of his skin, that's right, and we'll talk all about that in just one second. Big shout out to the members and the patrons. You know who you are, and again, if you're new, smash that subscribe. We're looking for 30 likes on this video. Can you do it? Please get in there, smashing that like. Costs you absolutely nothing, and of course does wonders for the old algorithm. But anyway, got the lads together to talk all things Taylor Gardner-Hickman, and here they are. Gardner-Hickman.
Oh, interesting one.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I feel like there's mixed opinions about this guy. I feel like on Twitter, I think a lot of people are quite happy with him, waxing lyrical. But then in the stands, there's been a couple games where people have been getting on his back around me. So I'll give you my opinion. My opinion on him is I think he's a steady Eddie. I think obviously he's versatile in terms of where he can play. You know, he played that away game was at Charlton. He got moved to right back, I think. He wasn't great there. I wouldn't like to see him there again, I'll be honest. But I think in midfield, I think he's been decent. He's definitely got the vision and kind of can pick a pass over the top. I've seen that more than a few times. That's something Sondre really struggles with, and it's not something Travis weren't as bad as Sondre is with it, but I think this guy's definitely can pass the ball about a bit better than Travis can and find those runs in behind down the wings and whatnot. And yeah, as I said, Sondre is very limited with that. I feel like Sondre tries that, it just doesn't come off, or it hits the man or something like that. He's not exactly that mobile. He's not as much of a battler as Travis was and is. But I mean, he showed the other day, didn't he, when he had that guy in a headlock and took him off the pitch, and then he had three of the Southampton men. Or was it Sheffield United? I can't remember now. Yeah, had three of the men running up to him in his face. He weren't fazed by it. So I rate stuff like that, and I think he's been solid. And at this moment in time, obviously he's on loan, isn't he? If you offered me in the summer, I'm not sure if he comes on a free or it'd have to be a fee, but I'd definitely be interested in him. I think obviously we've got Baraggi hopefully to come. I don't know when, but you know this guy's meant to be brilliant. Obviously Sunderland were linked with him and other clubs. I think Gardner-Hickman moving forwards will be more of a rotational player and more of a squad player. But I think he's doing all right at the minute, and he's doing a lot better than Sydney was, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we saw Sydney at Hull, didn't we? Me and Denver, we were creaming over him, I think, for want of a better expression. But I'm glad that you got Taylor, Hickman, Gardner, whatever his name is. He's kind of got three surnames all in one, hasn't he? But yeah, I'm absolutely. I'm a Denver on this one. I'm so sat on the fence. Yes, he'll play that amazing ball over the top of the whole of the midfield and what have you. And I think this is probably the player we'll debate the most, Dirk. So if you don't mind, just spend a couple of moments on this, because I'm torn with this guy. Up until probably a couple of games ago, I thought, you know what, he's relatively solid, but he's just not got the class or the quality to take us to that next level. But yeah, I'm there's part of me that's struggling with this guy. I want to like him, but I just think that we can do a little bit better. I think there's somebody else that will bring something different. So there's something missing from his game, and I can't put my finger on it. I guess it's the best way to surmise
I'll
it.
pick up on the Sydney point. I think it doesn't surprise me in a way that Sydney did well at Hull, because obviously we were so dominant that game, and you know I don't think Hull were at the races at all. And to me, Sydney seems that type of player where he's got time on the ball, he can knock it about and stroll about. But when you're, losing a game or whatever, and you want a battler in midfield, Sydney just isn't that for me.
That's why.
And I think that's why he's been dropped, because we're just not getting the results at the minute, and you can't afford a player like that in midfield.
Also, go on, Dirk.
I was going to say one thing about Taylor Gardner-Hickman that I spotted and then is that he's playing like a player that he belongs with Blackburn Rovers. He's showing passion to chase balls back, and I don't, I see a lot like the Cargbos of the world, a lot of players not showing that tenacity to make amends for a mistake, or just throw I know we gave a lot of flack to Sam Gallagher. Sam Gallagher used to run his arse off. But
all we're good for.
I know that it was terrible, but no, I love that about Taylor Gardner-Hickman. I think it's
he's a grafter.
A grafter. He does.
And that's why he's in the squad, isn't he? Ultimately, and that's why Sydney Varas is on the bench, because he's
not even on the bench at the minute.
I know, yeah. He's just a little bit too, just doesn't he looks for that perfect ball, which at some point will come. I think also that ball, it doesn't lead to anything as well at the minute, right? Where it was coming off beautifully against Hull. Recent games, we're not putting some of these chances away, so you're not seeing the benefits of his fruit, really. And then going the other way, he just gets beat, and the ball I remember I think even Hull or somewhere just saying how many times he lost the ball because and that's what Gardner-Hickman gives you. He just gives you that bit more solid and a bit of stability, and he can play that ball. And then Tronstad's your backstopper almost. So that's why. And it was almost a blessing in disguise, really, because the game he came in, wasn't it? It was because Sydney got injured in the warm-up. What game was that? I was there for that one. I can't remember. And then he ended up playing really well. Yeah, I think it was Ipswich. Yeah, Ipswich game. And he come in and played really well, So yeah, he's just at the minute, he's a safer pick than Sydney is. If hopefully Sydney can develop, and then if Sydney has that in his game, I can't see why Sydney doesn't get back in the squad, because I think that the other half of the game is it's huge. Picking that pass, finding that ball, but it's just the other stuff in this game that lets him down at the minute. And I don't know what's happening with the rest of our midfielders, but yeah.
Appreciate that, guys. Thanks again for your input about the players, the new arrivals at the club, and even some of the old faces. That's right. Again, if you want to help us out on the channel, make sure you smash that like, subscribe if you're new. We'll be back for more Rovers content very, very soon. But until then, we're done.